Mr. Smith, isn't it true that you told Skylar you were at the airport because you felt like you needed to take a flight somewhere?
No.
Isn't it true you told Officer Young that you had an argument with Cheryl earlier in the evening, you weren't sure when you left, but you checked into a motel by the airport because you had business meetings?
Objection, compound question.
Overruled. I'll let the answer stand.
Do you remember talking to your mom from custody on the 3rd of June, and she asking what time you left, and you said it was like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, then pushing midnight, I think? That's when I returned.
I don't remember that call, but I may have said that. Yeah.
Okay. So you could have told your mom that it was 8:30 or 9 o'clock when you left initially, then you returned after midnight?
Yes, I could have said any time. I don't know what time it was that evening. I had to look at discovery records to start to piece together that whole evening, so I don't know what time anything happened. But on June 3rd, didn't have a sense of time.
Isn't it true you indicated to Detective Aldridge you left the house around 8 or 8:30, then went to a hotel in Oregon and returned home sometime after midnight?
I don't recall saying that. That's not what I did.
Okay. Do you recall a call to your mother on the 3rd of June where you said, well, I just drove down to Wilsonville. I was thinking of a Motel 6. Do you remember saying that?
I probably did say that. I was thinking of that. I think that's where one of my calls to Skylar on a payphone came from, Wilsonville, near a Motel 6. So that's probably something I would have said.
So not to a motel by the airport like you told Officer Young?
Objection misstates his answers.
Overruled.
No, there's a lot of talk about airport. I've gone to the airport when Cheryl's been drunk before, but that night I didn't. I don't know what I said to people. I drove past the airport that night.
Oh, okay. On June 3rd, in a phone call with your father, do you remember indicating you left the house around 8:30 or 9 p.m.?
Asked and answered.
I actually asked. Thank you.
And I think I did do that. I went up. I think the receipt showed I was at Fred Meyer at about 8:30 that night.
Do you remember on the same phone call when you're talking to your mom and she asks you about if you touched Cheryl and you said, no, I didn't touch her. We were arguing. It was a difficult moment.
I probably said that. I wasn't in a position to confess to anything over the recorded phone line, and I probably said that to my mom, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember in that same phone call when your dad inquires again if you left at 8:30, your response saying, yeah, 8:39, and then you talk about Skylar went to the gym at some point?
Yeah, that very well could have been talked about, yeah.
Okay. So, is it your testimony that when you spoke to, or did you call Skylar when you were out and about that evening on June 2nd, June 3rd?
Yeah, I believe I called her twice.
Okay. And what was that call about?
Pretty routine call. When Cheryl's drunk and I leave, I call back within an hour or so and see if she's calmed down yet or gone to bed and I can come back home safely.
Okay. Do you recall Skylar telling you that Mom is hurt and we're at the hospital?
I don't remember.
Do you remember any conversation to that effect?
Asked
No.
and answered.
No. She cursed at me the first time I called and we got disconnected and I tried calling back and I don't remember the gist of the conversation really. Not much. They were both short.
Do you remember a call to your parents on the 3rd of June where you said, I was assuming when I heard about this that Cheryl would be like, yeah, Garrett didn't do this, and let's kind of, rally the troops?
I don't recall that, but I think that was my sentiment is whatever happened, we could kind of work this out. I mean, that was my, we're a family, we'll kind of bond together and whatever happened, we can resolve it.
Okay.